What up? Already 50 guys in here. Let's go. Yo, what up? I had some people message me. Wasaki, you were not the only one, but I am gonna out you. But a few people message me and they're like, what the fuck are you saying? Are you guys quitting Idle or something? I'm lost. And I'm like, wait, was the joke not obvious? I tried to make an obvious joke about me giving up my competitive Idle career because I got smashed in the leaderboard. But I think some people, I can see it as like English second language, especially, but some actually, it was really obvious to me. Okay, good. But some people, I was like, dude, this is why I hate joking. And this is why I hate doing like April Fool's jokes, like within the studio or whatever, because there's always that like percentage that are like, wait, what? And they like freak out and stuff. And I'm like, oh no. But hopefully the joke was obvious. Where for Idle? Yeah, time to make some balance changes. Fuck Warfare. Nerf the shit out of it. Yep. Can't say no. Nope. Putting you guys on timeout. You guys need to be on timeout. Oh, Bunny, I need to make you there we go. Invite. There we go. Bunny's joining us as a speaker.
Hey.
Everyone say hi to Bunny. Say hi to Bunny in the tavern.
Hey, friends.
Drink your coffee. I am drinking coffee. Oh. Actually, here, let me send a photo. This is what I did right before I got here. That's why I was 1 minute late. These guys were sniffing everything. So here, I'll send a photo. There's my two happy dogs. They got a quick walk, quick 45-minute walk for this.
When's Cooper gonna be in the game? Poor guy.
I know, never. He's not a good enough dog. He's a bad dog. All right, guys. So I'm gonna be honest. I didn't prep at all for this. I was kind of just like, you know what? I have some time. Let's do like a quick AMA just so I can answer like common questions. I noticed that like, as always, majority of people don't read announcements, right? They just go in the tavern and ask. So for the mental health of our CMs who have to answer the same question 87 times, I figure I'll try to answer as many questions as well. But then also we're going to talk a little bit about season 2. It's also like a great opportunity with season 1 so fresh in everyone's heads to give feedback. We're very much like with RavenIdle, we're able to build a lot more based on community input because many of you guys are also RavenQuest players. That's why we moved this 30 minutes earlier, because a lot of the RavenQuest players are going to be doing Guild Wars in 25 minutes. But you know, with RavenQuest, because everything's built out in like a client and all that kind of stuff, it adds a lot more work to a lot of things, right? A lot of things that seem simple are a lot more work. The nice part with RavenIdle being web-based is most things are pretty quick to do. And so that allows us a lot more like freedom in like, if the community cooks up something crazy, it's like much more realistic for us to do it. And there's usually not too many ideas that are like, oh, there's like no way, which is really nice. And so we want to use this a lot more to like pull stuff from the community throughout this season. To be clear, we have a document right now that like on Google Docs is over 90 pages long. Of just stuff that you guys have shared throughout the season. This is just all feedback. A lot of it was already kind of like done or changed during the season or fixed during the season. But like in terms of like bugs and stuff, that's all documented. So you don't need to worry too much about that. That's obviously going to be, you know, priority, like any issues or stuff like that. So what I kind of want to use this for though is yeah, other ideas. So like, with that, I'll kind of share some stuff for season 2, just so you all know. One, our goal with seasons with RavenIdle is because of the seasonal structure, we get a really some people still think yeah, I don't think they got it. Maybe they thought pro gaming career. Do they not understand what pro gaming career is?
Okay, next time add emojis.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna add a bunch of Shiba faces, okay, and see if that helps. Otherwise, I'll just delete it after this. It's like, yeah. Yeah, I don't know how people didn't understand that it's a joke. I don't really either, but this is, um, could you imagine, like, as soon as the season ends, just peace. However, I guess that's pretty common in Web3 right now. Anyways, jokes aside, the beautiful part about a seasonal structure and why we wanted to do a seasonal structure is it allows us to be like, okay, let's have a competitive season. If there's something that's like super OP or something that's really bad, everyone's on the same playing field with it for the season. And the next season, we can just completely change it, right? We can make huge balance changes, huge adjustments. And our goal with every season is that every season feels like a completely new meta to solve. And the seasonal structure allows us to do that really well because it's not like, oh, we're making these changes. Now my entire build that I've been putting, 100 days towards is irrelevant and trash, right? Instead, it allows us to make these freely and do a very different big meta. Because whenever you do balance changes in games, like you have to weigh the negative part of that, right? You have to be like, okay, this is obviously really OP or really strong, but nerfing it, people are going to be really upset, right? People never like, even if they know it's OP, they still don't like it when it gets nerfed if they're using it. So that's where the seasonal structure is so great. And really our goal is that like every season of RavenIdle has new content, has more polish, has more quality of life, but then at the same time, it feels like, hey, this is like a new puzzle to solve. Like, how am I gonna min max this season, right? And that's really our goal there. But with that, the other part to that is also new content, right? We've obviously dropped some things. We dropped Gladiator Arena, and the competitive pool for that is coming as soon as the devs are back. We just need to make a few tweaks to it, like stuns, which are, they don't have the negative 50% PvP duration, so they're insanely OP. So I'm really glad we didn't do a reward pool for that when we dropped it, because those were kind of things that we had to uncover, right? And then we'll change that, and then we'll put in the season. So if you are playing, just know like the season 1 like leaderboard stuff that is down, but there will be a reward pool for the Gladiator Arena with the season 1 characters. But then additionally, we're looking also at like what new things do we want to bring. Again, RavenIdle we can build very quickly for. Building all like the back end logic and stuff, that was so much of the work. Building out systems like fishing, herbalism, alchemy, throwing all these into the game is actually quite quick. It's not a massive amount of work. And so those things will obviously be coming. And then also we have so many other things that we've been cooking up. But first and foremost, our first focus will be changing up the meta, lots of balance changes, and obviously like lots of bug fixes and quality of life. Someone recommended something really good in one of the feedback threads. I responded to it this morning, I think, but it was adding like a progress bar to achievements. I loved that. Those are kind of things that we want to get in. I think those are like great ideas. So any ideas like that, please open up a thread in our Discord here, and like CMs are always going through those. Even if they don't respond, just know that they're always going through them and grabbing them and sending them to us. And I'm many times in them as well, just lurking different ideas. And so please be doing that, but also like any feedback on balance, stuff like that, feel free. But what I wanted to do this AMA for is 1, if you guys have some questions, feel free to fire them off. 2, stuff that you guys would like to, sorry, my brain's still a little cooked. Ideas that you guys would like to see in the future for RavenIdle. Again, we have hundreds of ideas that we want to implement, but I always love hearing it from the community as well. We have one system that we really, really like, that we are going to be working on for season 2. We already know it's going to be coming, and I'll share lightly on that. Yeah, sorry, I'm a touch out of breath because I was like rushing home up a big hill. Dragon's Den leak. Yeah, so there will be a video that will be debuting it at Gamescom, or at G3, the G3 Awards at the YGG Play event. And they want their videos to be exclusive. So we might be able to share it before. Otherwise, it will be on the 21st that happens. So that would be not next week, but the week after. And I can tell you that it'll be launching pretty quick after. Ultimately, like what our priority is, just to share with you guys, is devs need a break desperately. They've been like, they grinded so hard on that whole rebuild to get season 1 up as quick as possible, so you guys didn't have to wait as long as possible. And then obviously during the season, they were very busy, right? There was lots of stuff to improve, lots of stuff to fix, all that kind of stuff. And so they really need some time off now. Like this wasn't like they were busy 5 days a week. It's like they were busy 7 days a week for a very long time there. So they really need some time to disconnect. And while yes, they could like, you know, do a few hours to get it all ready earlier, at this point, like the rewards won't change, but it's important that they are also recharged for working on season 2 so that they can do a good job with that. So once they get back, we will get the reward stuff up, and then that'll be open for claim. And then we'll have to do a few test things on it just to make sure it's all smooth and clear there and that it all looks good. And then, because that's very important, we obviously, it'll be the first time people have been able to like claim rewards directly to their wallet and stuff. So we need to do a lot of testing stuff and just make sure it's all good there. They've already built it out, but we do need to run some more tests on stuff. And then after that, it'll be Dragon's Den, and then we'll be, it'll be Gladiator Arena, maybe with Dragon's Den or very close together. And then after that, we will be sharing stuff on season 2. So. I hate crafting, especially having to go tier by tier to make something like one piece of tier 5 equipment. Any plans to make this simpler? Would love to idle craft up to tier 5 somehow with one click. So for example, not having to change, like one thing that's been recommended that I liked a lot was like the ability to chain link your idle activities. So for example, you can like do a dungeon, and then when you finish your dungeon, it'll like either go back to your last activity automatically, or you can like choose what the next activity will be. So you could do the same with crafting. This is one of those things too that, like, you know, it's an idle game, but it's also good to have like some engagement. I like, we don't like that it would like perfectly craft everything you need in the perfect way, because I think that's where a lot of the strategy comes in. And but at the same time, like at least going back to your last activity, so you're not just like, okay, I gotta like watch for the second I finish crafting to make sure I min-max this. It'll be like, okay, at least it goes back to like grinding mobs or gathering or something. When I finish it, I was just, why not? It says how many days before S1 and then where, okay, I have no idea what you're saying. I'm sorry. I'm already looking forward to playing season 2 after playing season 1 free and winning a pickle. Congrats on the pickle. Yeah, season 1 got, I said this many times, and I'm sorry for parodying myself here, but season 1 got so much more attention than we ever expected. Internally, we are to the moon right now on excitement over RavenIdle, especially because we really do feel like we released like an MVP, like a minimum viable product. We feel like it's a very fun product and very good game loops. But there's so much more we can add to it, and that we already have planned out. Like UI is already done for a lot of this stuff. So that gets us really excited because it shows that there's just huge potential considering how well this season 1 version was received. And we did the legwork. We did the like the back end is beautiful. We did the legwork, and yeah. I'd like to congratulate the Tavern Light team on an excellent done season 1 and Mark's beginning for a project with the potential to grow even further. I'd also like to share some of my perspective on what I believe is or isn't working in the current state of the game. I think you should consider moving away from RavenQuest class system and developing a unique system tailored specifically for the idle version. Fortunately, the current classes in the idle game are neither balanced nor particularly coherent. I believe it would be even possible to transform the classes into NFTs. Every new player could start with a base non-NFT class, while the final reward of the battle pass could be containing an NFT class. Each NFT would have its own tier as well as unique skills. Yeah, we probably won't do that. To be clear, like the archetype system is something that we love, and we know a lot of players in our ecosystem, like they love that part of the Raven IP, that ability for hyper customization. I do totally agree, though, that some of it doesn't translate as good over to an idle game, and balance is needed on that, right? I absolutely agree with that. We did obviously like lots of test phases and public ones, but that never gets the same results as actually a competitive season 1. So the results from that, like we made adjustments, we made balances, but it never compares. So, you know, we have lots of changes to make, but ultimately we won't like fundamentally change the craft system. However, I do think, yeah, there's some interesting stuff I'm going to share on kind of stuff that we're looking at. But I'll do that soon. I'll answer some more questions first.
Yeah, with that being said, are there any plans for NFTs in RavenIdle?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a bit here.
Okay.
Yeah. I still do the pass every day, but I have finished it, so not get points, but fun to do. Yeah, I mean, you can still do them. A lot of people haven't completed their battle pass. I mean, a lot of people bought their battle pass like last couple days. Because keep in mind, not everyone is playing for the reward pool. Like a lot of people are also just like, oh, I like, especially some RavenQuest players, they just want like the cosmetics and stuff from it as well, right? Please hold. Where can I see the drop rate of items? Would be nice if we could see the item drop rate. Yeah, I'm not sure if that's shown. This comes to one of those things where sometimes sharing too much kind of pulls away the mystery of a game. Yeah, it's always one of those things where players, yeah, of course, like to see more information, but it can also, without noticing, make a game worse. Sometimes an element of mystery can be good. I must finish my battle pass. I love the game a lot, for real. I appreciate that. Again, the reception's been incredible. And again, what gets us just so excited is we knew what we were shipping. We knew we loved the design. We loved the gameplay loops. Again, internally, staff members are playing the shit out of it on the test server. Oh, sorry, I'll not get sidetracked here too much. But again, this is like just like a base of what we have here. And that gets us so excited because if you guys already love this, like just wait until you see what we have in season 2. And then also that leads me into Dragon's Den. I cannot stop playing it. It is very fun. It's a very simple game. It's not like a new RavenIdle type thing. It's a mini game, but it is very, very addictive. Yeah, it's very fun.
It really is.
Yeah.
Very addictive.
A lot of our staff. That's why I haven't let all the staff in the studio have access, because I know most of them are just going to do that instead of work. But it is very fun. Yeah, originally we were going to launch it kind of during the season, and then we were like, you know what? Players are playing RavenIdle like so competitively. They're so focused on that. Let's do it afterwards. And it's kind of nice to be like a little bridge then between the seasons, so that there's like something kind of fresh coming in that you guys can play between that into season 2. Also, yeah, any feedback, again, guys, please make threads. Like, we're always going through those. Now's the best time to share that stuff, because now's the time that we're like, okay, let's look at what we want to do for season 2. Again, we have a million things we want to do, but even seeing stuff from you guys gives us even more direction, because maybe there's a certain thing and we're like, oh, a lot of people keep asking for something just like it. Let's definitely focus on that. Will there be anything cooperative in RavenIdle? Guilds, group fights, boss fights? Guilds definitely are something we want to do. We have kind of a cool idea for that. There's also something really cool that I want to explore with, and I got to cook a little bit more here, but some way that the community kind of fights back. So something like a world boss where like every player can like enter to help fight it, and if it gets killed, everyone gets rewards. Like even maybe something like the prize pool grows for each world boss that gets taken down. The hard part with this is you don't want it to be automatic where the community just always kills it, because that's kind of lame. But also the community hates losing too. And so you want to design a system where like it's really hard to design a system like that, if that makes sense, right? Because you want to make something where the community does have to band together, but not so hard that it's like near impossible to band together enough for it. But you also don't want it to be so easy that it's like guaranteed. But there's some like pretty cool things that we've been exploring, like the prize pool growing, like the size that we put up, stuff like that. I think something like that would be cool. There's also like some territory stuff that we thought would be kind of cool. So like, Maybe players have to decide where they're going to go and what things they're going to focus on. So like maybe like taking down a certain territory will give everyone that went there like bonus EXP, another one maybe bonus professions or something, maybe another one, you know, stuff like that. Sorry, you tagged the entire forum. There's a lot of stuff in there, so I'm not sure what you're specifically talking about. Yeah. I mean, again, people saying like, "Oh, Warfare is too strong. Uses no mana. Eternal Worms is not good enough." Those are all things that, again, we would change between seasons. Like, just because people are saying it during the season, we're taking a very different approach here. If something is strong, if a certain meta is strong, we're not going to change it in the middle of the season. That's why we're doing very short seasons, because we don't want someone to have gone like really far ahead because of it. Then we change it, and then everyone else is like, "Well, fuck! Like now he's so far ahead, and I can't do the same build." So that's why we changed up our season. So even though a lot of like many of you guys have said like, "Oh, Warfare is really strong," it's not that we just didn't want to change it. We agree, and we will be changing a bunch of stuff. We just don't want to do that in the middle of the season. That's just the way that we're going to be doing things. We think it's more fair across the board than one guy gets really far ahead from a certain build and then we change it and now everyone else can't use that build, or that build's not strong anymore. That we just don't feel like that's the right way to do it. Why change the trophy drops in the last 3 days? No changes were pushed in the last 3 days, as far as I know. So the PM was off since November 1st. So I left COD because of RavenIdle. Fuck yeah. Can we get some sort of reward for dailies after you max out Battle Pass? Maybe currency to buy. That's kind of the tough part, is like one of the benefits of like having land from RavenQuest is that you complete your Battle Pass faster. And then all these people are like, "Oh, well, can you give us like new rewards to unlock?" That doesn't really work, right? Because now it's like a very different thing. The goal there is that it's just quicker for you guys to, and you quicker for you guys to complete, and you get the rewards quicker, right? And you unlock them sooner. But we can't do that and then also be like, "Here's more rewards," because then the other player is like, "Well, we can't get all the rewards because we can't complete it fast enough," right? So like we can't really do something like that. But yeah. I hope season 2 Battle Pass rewards would be specifically for RavenIdle. I played an idle game for a reason. Can't play RavenQuest since MMORPGs are grindy. I totally agree. I'll address this. I did do an announcement on it. We will be changing that. So to be clear, with RavenIdle, we had here are the rewards that we want to do in the Battle Pass. And then I was like, "Hey, we should also get some RavenQuest rewards in there because we have lots of RavenQuest players as well." This community ended up being way higher new users. Like even looking at this AMA, 95% of these names are different from RavenQuest names, right? Like it really built its own community, which is perfect. That's a dream come true for us. But of course, going into it, we were like, "Oh, it's going to be like 80% RavenQuest players, so they're going to want these." But then on top of that, when we did that, we had here are the RavenIdle rewards. I was like, let's also get some RavenQuest rewards in there. We just condensed a lot of the RavenIdle rewards. We didn't take any rewards out to replace them. So it's not like you guys are getting less because of that. We wouldn't add like more to the Battle Pass because it's already jam-packed. However, we will change how it's shown next time. Instead, what we'll do is we'll have a Battle Pass, and then at the end, instead of having them on the track, the RavenQuest rewards, because that kind of feels weird because you're like, "I'm not playing RavenQuest. I don't want that," whatever. And it feels like you're missing out on something. Instead, we're just going to do like, once it's done, you can claim an extra thing if you want for RavenQuest. So we still have those people that want it. But also it doesn't feel like, "Hey, this is like taking away my other rewards." But I just want to make clear that it's not like we took anything out. Yeah. Can we know what percentage of the reward we will receive in coming seasons based on our current positions? Obviously, if you give us tokens. Yeah. So this is one of the tricky parts. I was actually talking with Lou yesterday about this. He was giving just some feedback, like he did like a Twitter thread. So I kind of messaged him on some of the feedback. And one of the other things he said too was it would be nice if they could kind of see roughly what rewards are getting. This is a little tricky because the more people that buy Battle Pass, the bigger the reward pool. It also changes how many people are in the reward pool. And then also the value of the reward pool also changes that. So we would need something that's like live, consistently updating and changing. we are looking at kind of some ideas because percentage wise doesn't actually work either because there's more users in the pool is bigger. It doesn't really work either. Probably what we will look to do is like certain positions might have like, yeah, just like a rough range, I guess, would probably be fine because the range doesn't change much, right? But like specific number like does change very slightly, right? And so, because like for example, 1% of $1,000 reward pool is if the reward pool goes up to 10,000, but more people have the pass, like 1% of $1,000, or here a better example, 10% of $100 reward pool is the same as 1% of $1,000 reward pool. But the user is seeing the leaderboard and they're like, well, hey, why did my reward go from 10% down to 1%, right? Not that it would, because they would still have a position, so they'd probably be more like 2% or whatever, but you know what I mean. And so that would just be really confusing for the players. So we're trying to think of a way to do it more clear. Because basically, like, if for anyone who doesn't know, the more people that have battle passes, the bigger the reward pool in general, those top positions, like it's still number one position, they actually just get more and more rewards, like everyone does, but that position will actually also get more rewards, right? So that's why we can't really do a fixed value there. How skewed towards the top will the reward pool be? I mean, to a degree, yes, but not anything like insane. It's not like 80% of the rewards are for the top 10 people or anything like that. And to be clear, like we'll change it every season. We're going to do a certain model this season that we like quite a bit. And we're going to, we want those top positions to do really well. Obviously, like they should. But at the same time, we don't want it to be where it's like only the top 100 people are pretty much getting anything and everyone else is getting like almost nothing, right? That's not the goal either. But at the same time, if you're in the top position on the leaderboard, like you have something to look forward to for sure. But yeah, and again, we'll probably change the weighing each season. Probably what we'll do for season 2 is like we'll do the weighing for this season. You guys will be able to claim your rewards, and then we'll probably share like how it's going to be changing. Like if it's going to be heavier on one side, lighter on the other side, etc. And then we're also trying to figure out how we can make it clearly defined on the leaderboard, considering those issues that I mentioned. Yeah. Please bring PvP mode. There is PvP. Do you mean like being able to challenge someone specifically? Because
yeah,
that could be
keep saying
cool.
They want to pick somebody specific.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool idea. Also, I'm just gonna give one little shout out here, and to be fully transparent, Lou doesn't get any benefits from us in any way. However, I do know Lou quite well, not on like a real life friend basis, but he's been a RavenQuest streamer for a long time, and he streamed the betas and he put out a lot of guides for RavenIdle that we shared as well. But I did want to share, first off, congrats to all the top 10. I'll go quick through the top 10. I saved it here. Oh no, I didn't save it. God damn it. Here, let me pull it up. Shout out to Lou, Crier, No Competition, Ace of Trades, Tribals, Blade, Principi, Whispers, Super I, God X, Open ON, Butco. I mean, everybody. Redbeard. Wait, is that the Redbeard that I know? From like a long time ago. Anyways, shout out to the people that came on the top of the leaderboard. If you ever want to check, just go to prize pool, click leaderboard. But I want to give a special shout out to Lou because he spent less than anyone else in the top 10 of the leaderboard and came first place. He went really hard this season, min-maxing every single element. The reason why I shout that out is he's been writing a lot of guides. I heavily recommend, I mean, those guides are going to be a little bit outdated with a changed meta. But well, maybe not, like maybe some things aren't. But he streams and stuff like that. He also posts stuff on Twitter. Go give him a follow. Cause that's pretty damn impressive, that he, cause there was people behind him that spent 3 times as much, to push for those top spots. And he was able to get #1 spot. So shout out to him on that. But again, shout out to everybody on the leaderboard. I know all of them went hard on theory crafting, strategy, everything. I mean, you had to be in the top 10 or even the top 100. So congratulations. You want to challenge me? No shot. I'm going to use dev build and I'm going to clap you. why if RavenIdle is supposed to only take 5 minutes a day, am I spending almost all day trying things out? Listen, it can only take 5 minutes a day. The reality is like a lot of players went hard because they were just trying to min max everything, right? So they played a lot. And I think that's like a good design. If you're like a busy person and stuff, you can just, you know, log in, choose your next activity, hop back in. But if you want to be like top in the leaderboard, yeah, it'll probably be more than 5 minutes a day, which I think is kind of a good way to build a game where everyone can enjoy it with limited time. But at the same time, those top players are min-maxing stuff. And I think there's some things that we can improve there. Again, like when you finish an activity like dungeons, you don't have to wait until your dungeon finishes to go back to grinding mobs. It just does it automatically. I think things like that are really great to add to the game. But
we do keep getting asked if we've decided like what's going over to season 2. Our energy juice is going over, monk coins, anything?
yeah, so we already shared on this. We did an announcement. Guys, I do encourage you to read through the latest announcements. Even if you like have a question, just search that thing in the announcements channel, because there's probably a good chance we've shared it already. However, on that, yes, we will have a way to move those over. I'm 99.999% sure. Otherwise, we will just do it manually because we did say that we would do that. We're just finishing some things on the structure. But yeah. Also, a big thing for season 2 that I should mention is right now we're building out a system where essentially you'll be able to deposit virtually any crypto from any chain into RavenIdle. So we're working on a pretty big system around that. That'll also allow you to just withdraw your whatever you don't spend as well. So if you buy like 10,000 monk coins or whatever, you're like, oh, I didn't spend 4,000 of them, you can actually just withdraw them back as cash. So you didn't like miss out on buying that. Or you missed out on, what you bought.
Does it make sense to continue grinding our first season character if we want to earn future rewards, or should we just continue it for fun?
Yeah, so, I mean, always continue for fun, but at the same time, I have done an announcement on that, so you can check that, but I'll also speak on it again here. With the end of the season, the one thing that we will still have, which will be season 1 characters, so like, again, you'll be able to continue playing your character as long as you want. But in terms of like earning potential, the last thing will be the Gladiator arena. So we will have that before the season ends, on top of the season end, which will use your character. So you can definitely still push for that. And then after that, your season 1 character will be for the most part for fun. We are looking at some kind of interesting things, but I'm not even going to share them. I'm not even going to share them here because I've learned over the years, when I share something, people say, this is happening, and then they just ask when. And then if we don't do it, they're upset. But we do have a pretty cool idea that we shared with a few people that we're really close with, and they fucking went crazy over the idea that would involve your season 1 characters. But anyways, I'm not sharing on that because it will be, again, it very quickly turns into, hey, we're kind of exploring this idea, but we might not do it, to everyone's like, oh, you said you were doing this. When is it coming? And we're like, oh, fuck. Okay, well, now I guess we have to do it. And we might not even be able to. It's a pretty deep thing. Yeah. Do some more questions. I do have like some things I'll kind of share, but also Godspeed to all the adventurers that are fighting in Guild Wars right now on RavenQuest. I got some real life friends listening in right now as well. That was a testament to RavenIdle. Was converting my real life friends who've never played a Web3 game, and they love RavenIdle. It showed like the product market fit of RavenIdle, because they were all like, listen, RavenQuest is fun. We have a ton of fun playing it, but we have jobs, we have families. We can't play, 3-4 hours every single day. Not that you have to be clear, for anyone who hasn't played RavenQuest, but if you want to be like hardcore in it, like you do gotta play a lot. And like most MMOs, and they all love RavenIdle because they're like, this is something that I can just like at lunchtime tell my character to do something, come home, craft some stuff. Like it really is what we built the game for, was that type of gamer. And it's nice to see that we really hit a good product market fit with it. And the amount of people that we had playing, what the prize pool got to, all of that, for what it is right now, and for no marketing at all, not a single dollar, is insane. The word of mouth here was incredible. That's thanks to all of you guys. You guys really spread the word on this. A lot of creators were writing insane guides on it. It really is a testament to you guys. So it's pretty insane what you guys have been able to do here, and what we've been able to build in such a short amount of time. So I really appreciate everybody here. Time change messed everybody up. Oh yeah, the Guild Wars. Oh my god, yeah, dude, I hate time changes. My god. Yeah, that makes sense. That did mess everybody up. Godspeed. Sorry, guys. Like, it's so annoying. I wish EU and NA would just get rid of time changes. Brazil or South America does it right, and a lot of other parts of the world that don't do time changes. It's so dumb. It's so archaic. I get why they used to have it, like from a economical reason, but now it's just dumb. It's just archaic. But yeah. Anyways, high real stakes on Gladiator possible. Give me what you mean by that. What are you thinking? High real stakes. Give me an example. Give me some juice here. What does the team think of the intentional death strategy being superior kills an hour while not even needing consumables? Like, these are super active gameplay strategies that in a sense could be rewarded for the effort, but also it doesn't feel like it's intended game design. No, it's not. It's definitely something that we want to change. Again, they're like, you never find these things until there's a reward pool attached in a competition. That's where you start seeing like, what are those like deep and dirty strategies that people do, right? And you don't see those in test phases, right? People aren't doing those to that level in test phases. So that's why season 1 was so big, right? It allowed us to find so many of these things that we can all change for season 2.
Oh, they want to degen and bet quest on matches.
Yeah, hey. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. So like this is something that we would love to add in. I think it's great. The problem lies in how this can be abused, right? So people can intentionally tank their MMR to have really easy matches and basically like just dog on people because of that. So there's certain things that make that really difficult to do from a game design point of view. This is game design in a nutshell. If anyone here, well, most here probably aren't, but any game designer here will know designing an idea in a system is really easy. It's really quick. It's really easy. 80% of the time is how could this be abused and how do we stop it from being abused? That is 80% of game design. And so that's like, that's one of those things, right? Like I just gave you one quick example of that where, okay, that's how it can be abused. And there's so many other things. And if we can like overcome those, yeah, we love kind of stuff like that. Oh my God, that's so easy to rig. Yeah, exactly. The only way to make that like non-riggable would be if we made PvP where you go in with a build, but it's everyone's equalized, right? So there's no MMR system and it's just like equalized and then you can bet. And that might be something we do, right? Anyone who plays RavenQuest, they know we have rifts in RavenQuest where it's PvP, where you actually, everyone has the same stat points, the same skill points, the same like gear, all that kind of stuff. Something like that could be kind of cool. And then it would be fine to do, right?
The king has finally arrived, Lou.
What did I miss? Anyone? Oh my God, I didn't think to record it. My bad.
I'm recording.
Oh God, you're so good. You're too good. Okay. Yeah, it's been recorded. Oh, I'm so glad he wasn't here for when I was fucking glazing him earlier. God damn. And don't let him have the VOD. I don't want him to think that I think highly of him, okay? Fucking Europeans, goddamn Austrians. Yeah, so I'll probably get into sharing some stuff here. Some deeper stuff, but I want to give a couple more minutes for any questions. Be careful
with your sarcasm after what happened with your announcement.
I know, right? Yeah, everyone's going to think that I absolutely hate Lou now, but he knows I hate him, so it's fine. Let's do a gamble section. If I win, I get to collect some items from the loser. Like in this AMA. Yeah, I mean, for anyone here who is a degen, Dragon's Den is very degen. Look forward to that. Okay. We got sustenance coming for you degens. Okay. um. Cool. So I'm a big hockey fan. I already know the Canadian national anthem. Fuck yeah, you do. Yeah, you would from hockey. Yeah, we got a banging national anthem. Okay, our national anthem's sicko. So is our flag. Our flag is more fun than every other flag. I'm saying it. But goddamn Leaf. Degen to me means like criminal. Could you elaborate? No, this was the hardest part, was making sure that we could do it in a way that is totally legal and above board. Again, we are a Canadian company, so we have very strict stuff we got to follow. We're not like a lot of Web3 where we're based in like, I don't know, some random crazy place and the team lives abroad. So we did have to follow a lot of stuff on how we did that. But yeah, it's essentially like a little mini risk to earn game, but enough skill-based elements that is important for it as well. It's kind of like none of you guys have played it yet. The way that I explain it is like, it's a game where you're a monk. There's a dragon. The dragon's throwing fire around. It shows where the fire is going to go. And then you basically are trying to pick up as much gold and treasure chest as you can before you escape or die. And so the way that I explain it is, someone who would be good at chess, even if they're not good at chess, but they would be good at it, like being able to look a couple moves ahead. There are people that will be like really good at Dragon's Den, because it is very much a game of like plotting kind of a couple moves ahead. It's very, very fucking fun. It was kind of just like a random idea that I had, and then it kind of just kept building up. And then by the end of it, I was like, this slaps. So we're very excited to drop that. We think you guys are going to absolutely love it too. All right, chess.com, here we go. Yeah, we'll be collabing with them. I will say the Brazil flag is a very pretty flag. The Canadian flag is I say fun because we have a leaf on it. Okay, we got goddamn nature in it. But the Brazil flag is a cozy one. The green and yellow, soothing. Just a small leak. Yeah, I'll drop some big leaks here. I'll drop some big leaks in a sec. What do rewards from rewards and treasures look like from Dragon's Den? Ah, you got to find out. You got to find out. Can't give out everything.
Oh, fucking wasabi.
Yeah, COD in 4K. Goddamn. Dragon's Den release date. I kind of shared it a little bit earlier. But to really quickly catch anybody up who wasn't in here, the G3 Awards, which, by the way, humble brag, RavenQuest was nominated for 4 awards this year for 4 different categories, which is insane. If you haven't played RavenQuest, go play it. And that's what RavenIdle is built off of. It's and we actually have the new expansion for RavenQuest releasing on November 22nd in 2 weeks here. But also something we're very proud of. That's why I do mention it. But with that, at the awards show, we will likely have a thing on Dragon's Den during the awards show, a video about it. And they prefer to have like stuff be exclusive for when it's shared in the awards show. And so that will likely be when it's mentioned. But it's coming very soon. Like, again, it was like, it's finished, but we didn't want to release it during the season. And we also didn't want to release it because we see it as like a good bridge between seasons for people to do on top of just their character. But we also, we didn't want to release it obviously while the devs are taking some time off. So we were like, you know what, let's save it until after. So it'll be reward distribution, then Dragon's Den, Gladiator Arena, reward distribution, because to be clear, the Gladiator Arena part will be like, those rewards will be included in the reward distribution. And then it'll be Dragon's Den. And then we'll start sharing some stuff about season 2. But don't worry, there will be time between seasons. We're not doing like another season here in 2 weeks or something like that. We want time to make a lot of changes, cook up new content, new features come into the game, and also just give people a break, right? Like a lot of people were pushing really hard during the season and playing a lot for an idle game. We want to make sure that one, people get like a little bit of a reset. But two, it also just lets us cook more then, right? We can have even more in it. We want season 2 to really feel like a brand new game again, right? Like the systems that are here will remain, but be changed a lot, tweaked a lot in terms of like values and stuff, change up the meta. But then on top of that, we want there to be like a lot of new stuff, not just like, oh, here's one little new thing. Something that I wanted to share on. So there's obviously a reason why we don't have peer-to-peer exchanging of resources, right? It's an idle game. It just wouldn't work. It would be such a nightmare to balance around. And that's why we don't have it. However, something we are exploring is something like, obviously if RavenIdle, if you had to like pay $30 to play it, like for example, Gigaverse, right? Idle game, but you have to like pay a huge amount up front to play it. Things like that can be somewhat okay, but even then it's a little different because you're not just idle gathering stuff 24/7, right? However, what we are exploring is we want to have certain items. God, this is like opening up a huge rabbit hole, and apologies because I don't have anything to like any visuals for you guys to follow along. So there's probably going to be more questions than anything from this that I probably won't have time to get into all of it. So I'm sorry if this opens up just more questions than answers, but I do want to share because I'm a sucker for leaking stuff. Something we are exploring for possibly season 2 is we want to have some stuff that is able to be on chain. And we would tie that behind something that has like some upfront cost. So it'd be like completely optional. And you wouldn't even have to obtain like, so for example, let's say, I don't know, you have like a expedition ticket. This is not what we're doing, by the way. But I'll just give an easy example. Okay. Or actually let me use, I'll use expedition. So let's say we have like an expedition ticket, and what that would allow us to do is like, you would have to buy that ticket, but it would be like optional. Again, expeditions are a good example because these would not require something to enter, but let's say that it is, sorry, I'm going off, but then it would have like, we'd be able to add in some like rewards that are like on-chain peer-to-peer. So for example, like you could have this thing and then you could go get those things and get like direct earning from those things. But also it keeps it very limited. People can't just make 100 characters or 100 idle accounts or anything like that. They would actually have to like earn it with their character as well. So things like that are kind of something that we're looking at as well, because we think there's some like really interesting elements there. So for example, no, I'm not going to get into examples because it's going to open up more questions than anything. And it'll be something much more interesting than that. We have ideas, but I don't want to share them because it'll just open up so many more questions. But there's a design that we really, really, really love. And once I have the full visuals out, I'll share it more with the community here. Cause again, otherwise you guys are just going to have more questions than answers. But if you have friends that sleep a lot, show RavenIdle them. They will love it. It's just very true. Will RavenIdle follow RavenQuest 1-for-1, or have you considered adding more skills and mechanics to RavenQuest that are not found in Raven, or to RavenIdle that are not found in RavenQuest, considering the complexity difference in developing new systems for each game? Much faster to ship RavenIdle compared to RavenQuest, I'd imagine. It is magnitudes faster. Web-based game development is the shit. I see now why almost every Web3 game is browser-based. It is so much quicker to ship stuff for. Also, to be completely transparent, Web2 gamers usually hate browser games, right? You don't see a lot of but in Web3, it's like pretty much the norm. And this is great if you're a developer. It's why like tiny teams can ship so much stuff when it's browser based. And that's amazing. That's like a huge tool in our tool belt and gets us really excited. But on top of that, will it follow RavenQuest 1-for-1? Definitely not. Like there's already some things that are different, and quite a few things we're like, oh, like, you know, some things feel really good to be the same and we like the design a lot, but then there's other things that we're like, hey, let's build out some systems that are actually just completely different. And one of those will actually be coming in season 2. I'm not going to share it now because I want to hype that up coming to season 2. But the system we're most excited about is actually going to be completely unique to RavenIdle. Crafting makes sense to be the same. Yeah, exactly. Like crafting, the archetype system, infusions, like these are things that can be the same. But then there's also a lot of things. Definitely balance has to be different. Like there are a lot of skills are already a little different, but they even need like more balance and changes because some things are just more impactful or stronger in RavenIdle than they are in RavenQuest. Even though the logic is the same, the game just plays, of course, a little different, right? Yeah, Lou, I would love to hear if you have ideas on that as well, because I think you're very right. And I'd love to hear, yeah, if you have more ideas on that. So I heard you change your in-game name to Yes Competition. Oh, wait, you're talking to somebody else. Please, can you bring in boss execution where I get to execute bosses in a skillful way? Can you explain what you mean by that? I have no idea what you mean.
I don't know if you're checking DMs, but I wasn't sure if something you asked for earlier was for this or not.
Oh, no, it wasn't for this, but I will share that. Might as well. Thanks, Mika. Which one do I like here the most? They're all sick. Yeah, I'll do the second one. The second one's nice. Okay, I'll share that in chat. Sorry, I'm coughing. Boom. Look, there's a little teaser for Dragon's Den. You guys already seen it, but it has a logo now. Enjoy. That's all you get. Dang, now it sounds like you say don't invest more in RavenQuest. I know you don't mean to sound like that, but yeah, that's why I was very much trying to tie in the fact that this all comes around RavenQuest as well. This sounds like the shift will be more from RavenQuest to RavenIdle. Not in any way. That's why I didn't really want to share this, because I knew I would say it poorly. Internally, nothing has changed with our RavenQuest development. RavenIdle will also continue to grow because it's done very well, but it won't be any shifting of resources, anything like that. As most of you guys can see that are RavenQuest players with the new expansion coming out. But more what I'm trying to say is, if we do anything with RavenIdle, we'll be taking a very different approach, but all of that will still flow into RavenQuest as well. People that are holding Quest are holding stuff in RavenQuest. Again, I'm not able to share exactly what that looks like yet, because I do very much want to actually share that in like a presentation way, so it's much more understandable. Because if I get into how we're approaching that, it's going to open up 1,000 more questions that I won't have time for today. But we will be sharing that. But yeah, it's actually more the opposite. It's more like, with RavenQuest, we wanted to build a really special game, and I think we've done that, and I think people have recognized that, and that took a certain amount of capital. With RavenIdle, it doesn't require a fraction of that capital, and so that allows us to do things very differently. We don't have to be like, okay, let's do a mint that's going to be $1 million sellout or something like that. We don't have to take those approaches, and that's really nice on our point of view, because it allows us to be like, okay, if we build something out and we don't need to do that, we can build something out where the huge focus is the community winning, and how can that flow back over to those who have trusted us on the RavenQuest side? I know me just saying it without anything in front of you makes it hard to visualize what I mean by that. And just know that in the next couple of weeks, I'll share more on what that looks like, and it'll make a lot more sense, because we've already built out how we see that working. It's more to say kind of the opposite of what you're saying, is that we want to make sure that those that did believe in us early on the RavenQuest side are taken care of and benefiting from that. But then at the same time, it allows us to do things a little bit differently on how we approach those things, which is very nice, and allows us to do very different designs as well. Yeah. Sorry, I know that was I know that was confusing. I'm sorry. That's why I wasn't actually going to share it, because I don't think that really. But I got too excited and I couldn't help myself. The CMs always know that I like to share stuff early, but there'll be. I'll clear a lot of that up soon. I just couldn't help myself. WT, that's kind of what I'm saying. Again, I'll share more what that looks like, because we have a design that we really love and loops all these things in so well. But the devs will probably murder me if I just go ahead and share that design before they've gone through the tech side of it. I already shared it with them and they love the idea. And they're like, you know what? This is what RavenQuest and RavenIdle needs. This is really what, because, and I'll share a little bit more about our idea there in the sense of like our philosophy. We've learned with our time in Web3 here that doing like making an amazing game, making amazing games in general, that doesn't translate to a strong ecosystem. They're two completely different things, right? And that's just the reality of it. People can love playing, but that won't make the ecosystem any different. And ultimately, that doesn't make like making an amazing product. It's great and it's so important too, but it's only one part of it. Now, how do you translate that to the ecosystem? And the reality is virtually no Web3 team long-term has solved the right way to do this. The ones that have done it well, it's something that's very new and original. They did something very different that allowed them to be like the front runner on this new design. And because of that, they're in that, 3% that are succeeding, right? But then the rest that are kind of just following other models or maybe tweaking it a little bit, that's not moving anything, right? And it's why we took a pretty big step back over the last couple of months and we're like, okay, we need to stop looking at what others are doing or listening to the shit on crypto Twitter where everyone's just like, oh, go do this model now. It's working for these guys. And it's working. That's not actually how it works. The reason why it's working for those guys is even if it's not great, it's because they did something original and new and interesting. And so we spend a lot of time really looking at how do we now do something new, original, and interesting for the Quest ecosystem. And we're very confident that we found that now. And that's why internally we're so optimistic. And as many of you guys know, why we haven't sold a single development and marketing token, a single team token, nothing, because we feel like we struck gold on the idea. And now it's about building it out. And because there's a lot of moving pieces there and tying in the whole Quest ecosystem behind it. But that's essentially what we've realized and what we're focusing on is how do we build something out that is completely new and original and unique, and how do we pave the road for what the next meta in Web3 can be. And I think we have it and we're very excited about it, but we do need to build it out. Our plan is that we will build that out for season 2. Yeah. Make a languages chat. I'm pretty sure we have one. Anyways, I know that didn't help much. We'll share more about that once it's all nice and pretty, nice flow charts, nice icons, all the good stuff. But we think we have something that we're really excited about. And yeah. Graveyard of Guardians? God damn. Cool. Any other questions, guys? God, now I'm just like angry because I'm like, I wish I had something better to share what I mean, because I don't want anyone running away with this in the wrong direction. Um, but I don't. That's the reality of it. But I couldn't help myself from leaking. So yeah, I'll share more soon. Yeah, we talked about distribution a few times. It's also in the announcements. Go ahead and read the second last announcement because we go all through it. And also spam when, because the CMs love that. They love that. I know Wasaki's just trolling. Yeah, I think Wasaki's just trolling. 90% of what he says is a troll. Are you in communication with investors or bigger game companies after the success you pulled in season 1? Literally the opposite. This is something that we've learned from RavenQuest. We are actively not interested. But yes, we've had a lot of requests. RavenIdle obviously completely took off when it released, and I think was much bigger than a lot of outside groups expected. And we've had a lot of requests on it. But we are actively taking a very different approach where we have literally zero interest there. We've realized that as a studio, we've been around for approaching 11 years now. We want to be in a position where we can 100% act in the best interest of everybody here. We've realized that, and I'm so sorry to any partners. Ultimately, the community needs to win. That's the best form of marketing. That's the best form of longevity. We have very much made a decision that we have zero interest in doing any investor positions in RavenIdle in anything. We have literally zero interest there. We want 100% control. We don't want any uphill battle to fight against. We don't want any we want to do a design that the community can win off of, that they get upset about because it's going to hurt them. We want complete freedom to make sure that we can do things very differently. And so we literally have absolutely zero interest in that. Yeah. Again, it's one of the things where we don't need it. So while yes, every founder and every studio is excited to raise $1 million, you pay for it long term, right? It changes a lot of things. You have something to fight up against now in terms of not the partner, because many partners are awesome and they're great help and stuff, but more so you will have pressure from that, like downward pressure on whatever you do after that. And yeah, we've learned a lot, and we're taking a very different approach. And while yes, it is really hard to turn that kind of stuff down, long term, it just time and time again doesn't work. Yeah. Free it back. Yeah, he already knows he'll be unbanned for season 2, but he was removed from the current season 1 prize pool. And I do need to be clear, guys. I did a tweet about this. I've known Abak for a very long time. He was one of the creators. We didn't invite many. I think how many was it? I think we had, was it only 8? No, I think it was 16. I've known him for a long time. He's been a strong supporter of everything we've done, and he's genuinely an awesome guy. He's very competitive. So anyone from other guilds will be like, fuck that guy. He's very competitive, and he's also very good at RavenQuest. She showed already he was good at RavenIdle. He's a good gamer, and he's a good content creator. And there's a reason we for our creator tournament, we specially there were all hand selected invites, and we were like, there's no doubt we want him there, and he ended up winning it, and very much deserved. And I was very excited to see him win it as well, because he's a great player. But at the same time, sometimes we have to stomach that and be like, it had to happen. But it's nothing against him. I like him a lot as a creator. He knows that, even though he probably is mad at me still to this day, and that's okay. And sometimes I have to, be a quote unquote parent or whatever, or I have to do my job in times like that, but that doesn't make it any easier. He's a great creator, a great player. And while I can't communicate too much with him because he speaks Portuguese and I speak English, the little I have with him, he's a good dude. So nothing against him. It was just how it had to happen. But yeah. Why don't you add progression bar from the beginning? What progression bar are you referring to? Are you referring to achievements? Because if so, I already mentioned that I like that idea a lot from that thread, and we're going to be implementing it. I also responded in that thread. Guys, I'm going to start looking to wrap this up. I think the Gladiator Arena was not clear, the possible rewards for it. Yeah, because they haven't been shared yet. But there will be a reward pool attached. Actually, maybe it was shared already, but it's not on the actual page because it's not the reward pool isn't activated yet for it. But it will be for season 1, your season 1 character. Season 1 is done, but yeah. Cool, guys. Any last questions here? This was very impromptu. I literally was just like, you know what? I have a little bit of time. Let's do a quick AMA. And I just wanted to connect with you guys. I can't believe there was like 100 of you at one point that showed up. I mean, more than that came in and out, but I was sick for such short notice. Very cool. Yeah, I just wanted to answer some questions, share a bit of stuff. And then obviously approaching season 2, we'll have like a huge teaser, as you guys should expect, sharing all the new stuff coming. And we'll probably share some stuff before that already in announcements. Like, you guys know I like to leak, and sometimes I do it too early, but the stuff in announcements I'll make sure to cook up. And that stuff that I talked about earlier, kind of our idea there, I'll cook up a nice clean version so it's much easier to follow along and how that benefits the Quest ecosystem as a whole, and RavenIdle players as well, and how we see that all working. Because again, an idea that we think is quite original, and what we really need, and something that will be very huge for not only RavenIdle but the ecosystem as a whole. And yeah, we're also trying to not share it too early because we're pretty sure quite a few teams will copy it. And so we also are like, okay, we kind of want to share it once it's like coming already. Otherwise we might lose, we come up with the idea and we're not like first to drop it. So yeah, we'll see how early we show it, but Degen here, I'll make a note of that as well. Thank you. Yeah, all good, guys. We'll have a VOD of this as well. So if you missed part of it, we'll upload that VOD. Cool, guys. All right, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate your patience as I fumbled over trying to talk on some topics that I just didn't have enough notes or preparation for. But ultimately, I can't help myself, and I wanted to give you guys a first peek. I always like to do that in AMAs, give you guys like a first leak on stuff for being here. But ultimately, guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for competing in season 1. It was a ton of fun. We have so many changes and stuff that we want to make, and new things, and we're very excited about, especially how quickly we can build them out. But ultimately, this was a very cool 28 days of you guys all competing, discovering new strategies, new metas, and ultimately trying to conquer that leaderboard. I think many are going to be very, okay, don't set up high expectations is what I've learned. Always undersell. You all are going to hate the reward claim. That's what I'm saying right now. You're all going to hate it. You're all going to get 1 cent. Even if you're top 10, you're getting like 5 cents, I think. Anyways, ultimately, we hope you guys enjoyed season 1. We're very excited for season 2, and thank you all for just being here. Thank you for continuing to share about RavenIdle and push it out into the world. Again, we did zero marketing for RavenIdle, and it ended up being absolutely explosive, so much bigger than we expected. And that's thanks to you guys. So I hope you guys have a good weekend. I hope you guys have a good Saturday. Do something fun, watch a good movie. Frankenstein. If you haven't watched Frankenstein, good fucking movie, okay? If you like the new Nosferatu, you'll love Frankenstein. I think it's better than Nosferatu, even though I love Nosferatu as well. The new Frankenstein is fucking banging, okay? First half, a little bit slow. Second half, absolute home run hitter. Yeah, very good movie. Go watch it, okay? It's on Netflix too now. It's free, so you have no excuses. Unless you don't have Netflix, then definitely don't torrent it. All right, guys, have a good weekend. Bye. See you.